like we got some early birds again. Love to see that. Lisa crochets with glittery nails. I love that. Let's see. Great Twitch conversation this morning. Yeah, you guys, if you didn't see us on Twitch this morning, a lot of good conversations, a lot of good business info. So make sure that you're joining us on all of our platforms. Make sure you sign up for those notifications so that you know when we're going live so you don't miss anything. All righty, just gonna grab a few colors here today. Got a whole bunch of different options that we're gonna be working with. So I'm just gonna grab, let's see what we're gonna grab. Oh, we'll grab all of those. And don't worry, you guys, we'll definitely work with some glitters, but we're gonna start with some pink and white colors today. So hopefully you guys stick around and see all the glitters, but get all the good information here. So we'll give everybody just a little bit more time to join in, make sure that our text went out so everybody gets that notification. Top Nail, you are always right here to begin with. I love it. It's always great to see you. So thanks for joining. Let's see, Sarah Clark, Illinois, right outside of Chicago. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Mrs. Nosbig, good afternoon. Chelsea, let's see, read my mind. I was just thinking about, awesome. See, I just knew you needed to see some ombres today. Oh my goodness, let's see. Tiffany West, Michelle, Christine, and Adriana. Oh my goodness. Hello, everyone. Oh, I love it. I love it. Thank you guys for coming in today. Welcome, everybody. Hopefully you guys are all having a great Monday. I think it's Monday today. It feels like Monday today. Ah, awesome, awesome. So I'm going to jump right in. I'm going to go through, I'm actually going to prep 3 nails today, you guys. We'll see how far we get into these 3 nails, but I'm going to prep 3. I'm feeling ambitious today, and I've got some fun ideas to share with you guys, so I want to just jump right in here. So we're going to prep our nails, push back the cuticles. I'm going to use my, whoops, let me come out just a little bit there. I'm going to use my sanding band to remove the shine, just lightly feathering through the surface of that nail. And I'm working, again, this is our medium sanding band, and I'm on about 5,000 RPMs right now. So nice and slow. I'm not using a whole lot of speed, not a ton of pressure, actually no pressure. I'm basically making contact with the nail, coming through that cuticle area, and then lightly just feathering, just making contact and feathering that bit through that nail. All right, you guys, and really this is how your prep should be on a real person as well. It shouldn't take a long time. Those of you that are spending 20 minutes, half an hour on your prep, I think you're probably doing some things that you don't necessarily need to do for your prep. So make sure that you're just going through, removing that shine. I'm going to come in with a little bit of our swipe on my manicure brush, dust those nails off, and clean those out. Oh my gosh, Red from Sweden. Oh, welcome. I think we have a great distributor. Is it in Sweden? I think we have a distributor in Sweden. Make sure to check them out if you haven't already. But welcome. All right, you guys, next thing we're going to do. So again, I'm prepping all 3 of these nails all together at once so that we don't have to go back and forth, but same prep all the way through here. Oh, we're watching from UK. Oh my gosh, I know we've got a great distributor in the UK, so definitely introduce yourself to them. Definitely, you guys, if you are joining us from another area, make sure that you go on our US website. We have a link on there that you can click to find all of your local distributors. And you guys, anybody in the US, you can click that link to find your local distributor. And that way you can always get product if you need product. If you can't quite get it from us directly on the website, or if you need a store to shop at, definitely check on all of those distributors. All right, you guys, so we're using our protein bond. I went through and did 1 coat already. I'm going to come back through, do a 2nd coat. When I'm doing my acrylics and my hard gels, any artificial enhancement that I'm going to be building out, I always do 2 coats of the protein bond. This is going to give us that really good added insurance that we have a good sticky layer here for our acrylic and our hard gels to grab onto. So 2 coats of protein bond. All right. Oh, okay. I always say this. I'm going to butcher your name, but Jadana is in Blackpool. Awesome. Welcome, welcome. I love it. Let's see here. All right, you guys. We're gonna do ombres today. All about ombres, all about ombres. So I'm gonna start with one nail, and I'm gonna just put my form on one nail at a time. On the practice hand, it's a lot easier to just do one form at a time. On a real person, I would definitely go through and put all of my forms on. I'm gonna take that little tab out, stick it on the back, pinch those two little silver tabs together. I'm gonna open that up there. We're gonna get this right underneath our nail, rock that up so it's flush up underneath there. Oh, watching from South Africa. I love it. I know we've got a distributor down there. Yes, check them out. They are amazing. You're gonna love them. All right, so we've got our form on, coming nice and straight out. Alrighty, so we're gonna start with a traditional classic ombre. Okay, so what I mean by a traditional classic ombre is pink and white. Now, I've got some options though, you guys. I've got a couple of different things. Oh, let me just pull them all in here. Come out there. All right, so for our basic pink and white, I like the speed white because it's a really nice bright white. Now, if you are maybe a beginner and you work maybe a little bit slower, the XXX white, let me see if I can find that. Sorry guys, I can't find it so quickly in my stash here, but speed white is a great bold, bright white, and that's kind of my preference. But if you're working a little bit slower, you may want to use the XXX core white, okay? So it's the same bright white, but it's just a little bit slower setting. Now, for some things, I'm going to use the speed white, but I'm also going to bring in the core white. Now, the core white is a little bit different from the XXX core white. So the XXX is the bright white. The regular core white is a little bit softer. So you know what? Let me just show you these really quick, just so you can kind of get an idea. Let me grab a little bit of monomer here. We'll pour that in. All right. Just gonna touch my brush to my bottle and pour straight down. That way it's not gonna spill or splash out anywhere. Just a nice little easy trick there. All right, so our speed white and the XXX white are gonna be your nice bright whites, okay? So that really bright white, okay? Now, if we grab our core white's gonna be a little bit softer. It's still a white, still opaque, but just a little bit softer, okay? So I kind of use a combination of both of these when I'm doing my ombres. I'm also going to grab my Cover Pink, which is my favorite color to use for ombres. It is a nice opaque pink. So when you're doing an ombre, you want to make sure that you have a good opaque pink. We have a bunch of different cover colors, and the Cover Pink is just my favorite to work with when I'm doing my ombre. So personal preference, you can grab any of the cover colors and they're going to work beautifully for you, but that Cover Pink is my favorite. So that's what I'm going to be working with today. I want to make sure I don't put the wrong caps on these. And then also I'm going to be working with Core Natural, which is, it is kind of clear, but it's got just a hint of white to it, just a hint. So it'll look like what the natural nail looks like once the natural nail grows out. So kind of that slightly light white, if that makes any sense. So we've got that, and then we're also going to be using our Speed Clear. Now, these are just options, you guys. This is what I use when I'm doing my ombres. However you want to customize your ombres is up to you, okay? I'm just showing you all of our different possibilities that we can use, and I'm going to show you kind of what works for me here. All right. Cover Flamingo, yes. You know what? I almost grabbed Cover Flamingo today, but I was like, no, I'm going to stick with the classics today. Okay, so let's see here. We're going to start again as a traditional ombre. So I'm going to start, now I got all my jars mixed up here. Where is my Speed White? Okay, so I'm going to start with my Speed White, and we're going to use that to build out my free edge, okay? Come in a little bit, there we go. Actually, I want you guys to be able to see this a little bit farther out. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to start with my Speed White. I'm going to pick up a good sized pearl. Okay, I'm going to drain that on my towel. I want to drain out some of that extra liquid so that when I put that down onto my form, it's not going to run. It's going to be more of kind of a clay-like texture. I'm going to press that out, and I'm going to just press this right up to that natural nail. If it overlaps, that's totally fine. We actually are going to overlap it kind of in our next step. But I'm just pressing that out using the edge of my brush to straighten out my sidewalls. I'm going to walk that brush, pressing all the way over to the other side, and same thing. Bring that straight in, press that bulk up to that natural nail. So this is going to start to just build out our free edge, give us our platform to work on, and it's going to give us our shaping. So let me pinch that together a little bit more. Maybe let's go a little bit more tapered square, more coffin shape. I know you guys, I always tend to go more stiletto or almond shape, but maybe we'll mix it up with our ombres today. Go a little more coffin shape, a little more tapered square. Maybe not that super tight coffin, but just a tapered square. Okay, don't worry too much about that free edge shaping, not a big deal. We can always reshape that with our e-file at the end. Okay, now we've got a little bit of product overlapping. That is perfectly fine. We actually want that, because I'm going to take another small pearl. I'm going to just tap out a little bit of that liquid, but I want this somewhat on the wetter side, so I'm just going to bring that right in there, kind of in the center of the nail, and then let's feather that out there, and then I'm just going to kind of feather out that back edge. Okay, so this is going to help to get our pink and our white to blend nice and evenly, so that we don't have that stark line of the white underneath, because sometimes you can see that shadow underneath. So you want to make sure that you're really getting that product to blend out. Okay, and you kind of notice I was using part of the point of my brush, and then I was also using the belly of the brush. So as the product was setting a little bit more, I was using more of the belly of the brush to kind of press that out and blend it. Whereas when it was nice and wet and pliable, I was using more of the point of the brush. Okay, so just kind of making sure you know what areas of your brush to use when. All right, let's see. Madgkin, I'm sorry if that's not how you pronounce your name. Thank you, I appreciate the compliment on my nails. If you want to see how I did these nails, our video from last week's live should be up on our YouTube channel, so check that out if you haven't already. Okay, so I think we've got our white how we want it. I think I'm actually going to add just a hint more right here. I can still see just a little bit of a shadow. Now, you guys, when you're doing your ombre designs, especially some of the things that I'm going to show you today, you want to make sure that you are charging extra for this, because this isn't just a one color design. It's a blend, and it actually takes some patience. It takes some skill to get that color to blend. So this is something you are going to charge more than just your regular full set for. Okay, so we've got our cover pink now. Got that right here. We're going to bring that. I'm going to grab a pearl of this, and we're going to pick that up. I'm going to do a little bit of a smaller pearl, so not as big as that free edge. I'm going to wait for just a few seconds here, about 4 to 5 seconds, and then I'm going to drop that pearl down. I'm going to press out my cuticle area, and you can see I'm holding my finger angled straight down here. So as I'm, kind of pressing out that cuticle, that product is going to start to flow down the nail. Okay, now it's going to stop, because I have a smaller pearl, so it's going to stop right about there. I'm just going to feather out the edge of it. Okay, I'm not going to try to pull all of that product down. I'm just feathering out the edge. So this way it's going to start to blend that pink into our white. Okay, now again, you want to be careful that you don't pull too much of that pink down. You just want, like I said, just grab the edge of it, so that's going to start that blend. Okay, now if you feel like maybe again you need to add a little bit in a certain area to perfect that blend, go ahead and pick up a small little pearl, kind of keep it on the wetter side, and that way you can really blend that out. Okay, now here's where I got to throw in some options, okay, because depending on what you want your blend to look like, if you want it a little bit more subtle, if you want it a little bit softer, you have some options here. So I'm gonna grab my core white. Okay, so this was that little bit softer white. So what I'm gonna do on this, I'm gonna pick up a little bit of a smaller pearl. Okay, so a small pearl. I'm going to turn my brush around and I'm going to put that kind of right in the middle of that free edge. I'm going to drop it down and then I'm going to blend that back. Blend that up into that pink that we've got on there, and that little bit of that softer white is really going to soften that blend and really blend those two colors together. So you guys can see it's helping to kind of take, if there was any harsh line, it'll kind of soften that harsh line and give us that really pretty soft blend. Now you could also use the Core Natural for this if you don't feel like you need any more white on the end, but I wanted just a little bit more of that white, kind of more white look on the end. So that's why I chose the Core White. Okay, now you guys, at this point we want to cap from basically from our pink through our blend. We want to cap that with our Speed Clear. If you were to just leave this nail like it is and then file, you would end up filing out this blend. So we have to cap that, at least that blended area, to make sure that we don't file that out. So I'm going to grab my Speed Clear. I'm going to pick up a pearl here. Again, we're going to take just a couple of seconds. Same thing. I like to drop my pearl down and then blend back. So drop it right down where that product blends and then blend back up into that stress area, okay? Just capping anywhere we had those colors coming together. Now, I don't have to worry too much about getting product all the way back to the cuticle because I don't need product there. I have my structure there. I'll show you guys in a second from the side, but I have my structure there. I have my structure down here towards my free edge. I'm basically using that Speed Clear just to cap that ombre, just to cap that area where it blends together. So if we look at it from the side, you can see my cuticle area is nice and thin. I've got my product, my stress area built up here, and then nice and thin down at the free edge, okay? So just using that Speed Clear to cap that blend, to cap that ombre so that we don't file that out. Okay. That's nail number one. We're going to file all these at the end here, but let's get into, you guys, do I ever do nails without doing glitter? No. You want to see some glitter? Let me know. Let me know in the chat if you want to see glitter. I know you guys do, but you got to tell me anyways. All right, so for our second nail here, same thing. We're going to grab our form, peel that off, take that little tab out of the back, pinch our tabs together, and then we'll get that form on. Yes, I know you guys, I know. Crystal glitter bug, no, we don't want glitter, wink, wink. I love it, I love it. Yes, you guys, I know you always want glitter. I always want to show you glitter because that's what makes doing nails fun. You know, I'm going to be honest, if I still was doing the same kind of nails that I did, 20 something years ago when I started doing nails, I probably wouldn't still be doing nails today because I would have gotten bored. And when you add glitters and things into your nail designs, it's going to be so much more fun. So, okay, so I've got, let's see, I've got Maraschino Blitz, which is part of our Slick Pour collection. I've got Rockstar, which is one of our glitters. Oh, I love that one. I love it, I love it. And then we've also got, which one is this? I Spy. This is a purple glitter. So we've got all of these different things here today. And then I'm still going to go through with some of my other acrylic powders that I was using on our first nail here. In the meantime, this one is about set to the point where I can pinch in that C-curve. I'm just going to squeeze that in a little bit on those sides. All right, so I'm going to give myself a clean place to wipe my brush with my glitter here. Now, when you guys are working with the Slick Pour, anything that's got glitter in it, I'm going to kind of show you guys what happens. So over time, or if you're kind of moving your product around and stuff like that, a lot of times the acrylic powder is actually heavier than the glitter. So the acrylic powder can tend to settle down to the bottom of your glitter, and then the glitter comes to the surface. So what I would recommend doing is making sure, give that a little bit of a shake, make sure that it gets good and mixed up. Otherwise, you can always use the end of your brush and stir it up. Just making sure that that gets mixed up so that you're not just picking up glitter and that you actually do have acrylic into that nail. Okay, So let's see, we've got our glitters here. Let's open these up as well. Whoop, that one was open. You guys, again, if you know my my life, anytime I use a pink glitter, I do tend to spill things. So I don't know what it is about pink glitters, so we'll hope that I don't spill these today. Okay, so we're gonna start with that Slick Pour Maraschino Blitz. I'm gonna pick up a good sized pearl of that, and just like we did on our first nail, I'm gonna drain out that extra liquid. I'm gonna drop that right down on my free edge, and I'm gonna press that out. Again, just like I did on that first nail. Press it out to the sides and then tuck in those corners. Okay, press in, tuck up to the corner, press in, up to the corner. Okay, we're gonna come back across, same thing, tuck in to that corner, press in, tuck up to the corner. Okay, we're gonna make sure that that product comes all the way up to that natural nail, and then I'm gonna start to just kind of bring that down onto the form, bring that out a little bit more, give us a little bit more length, and just kind of pressing it. When you guys are using the Slick Pour colors, these are a finer acrylic powder, and because they have glitter in them, they do take a little bit longer to set. So with these, you actually have a little bit more time to work with them. So again, for those beginners, if you are needing something that is going to give you plenty of time to work with, Slick Pour colors are going to be a great asset for you. Okay. All right, so we've got our extension built out. Again, doing kind of a tapered square today. Not quite coffin, but just a nice tapered square. Okay, I think we got our shape. Let's come back in, again, just like we did on that first nail. I'm gonna pick up a smaller pearl. We're gonna drop that right down into the center here and just kind of blend that up. So just blending that out so that we don't have that stark line. I'm kind of tapping the edge of that pearl just to really get those glitters to kind of fade out. Just tapping, or if it helps, you can turn your brush around and just kind of tap those or just kind of feather them out a little bit, whichever technique works for you. Sometimes I use both techniques, just kind of depends on how I'm feeling and how my product is moving. Okay, let's just kind of feather that out. Now we can add some of our other glitters. So I'm just going to take a little bit of that glitter. This is Rockstar, and just kind of tap that into that wet surface. Now, if I'm working and my product is starting to set and I feel like my glitter's not grabbing on anymore, I'm going to take, now I got to find which jar it was. All right, I think this was my Speed Clear. I'm going to take a little bit of my Speed Clear, just a small little pearl, and I'm just going to kind of feather that over this nail, just giving myself a kind of a tacky surface for my glitter to adhere to. So just kind of re-wetting that surface a little bit. Okay, just adding glitter, no rhyme or reason, just adding glitter. And let's grab a little bit, I'm going to fold that over, give myself a clean spot here. So I'm going to take, this is one of our, a little bit of our chunkier glitter. So I'm going to kind of pick some of these up and just kind of sift them right onto my table towel. Now, sometimes when I'm working with those larger glitters, they can kind of feel staticky in the jar. That's why I tend to put them right down onto my towel here. Again, I'm going to grab another, just a thin coat of that Speed Clear, again, just to re-wet the surface. And then I'll touch my brush onto those confettis, those glitters, pick them up, set them down into that wet surface. Alrighty, now you guys, if you like how this design looks just like this, you could just cap that whole thing in clear, have that beautiful glitter fade just like it is, or we can do a little bit more of an actual ombre look, okay? And with the ombre, we're talking like that pink, you know, that pink base, but we're not doing white on the end. We're gonna do that pink back towards that cuticle area. Okay, Victoria Kilman, what are you telling Greg? I missed the comment on there, but am I getting in trouble? Don't get me in trouble. All right, you guys, so I'm gonna come back to, actually not our cover pink. I'm gonna come back to, let me see what I wanna do. Where is my, you guys, I have all of my jars open and all of the white powders look the same. So let me take a quick test run here. Okay, so this one is our Core White. And okay, so I'm gonna grab my Speed White. Okay, so right now I want a little bit more of a bright white in the back area. When you're working on these trainer hands, you guys, I'm going to be honest, on the trainer hands, that bright kind of peachy color of these practice fingers, you're going to see that a little bit through some of your acrylics. On your actual real client's nails, you're not going to see that bright color showing through. Okay, so kind of keep that in mind as we go here. But I'm going to pick up just a small pearl of our white. I'm going to put that right back at my cuticle area. I'm keeping this product fairly wet, okay? Because I want to be able to bring that all the way around my cuticle area, but then I'm going to just start to lightly feather the edge of that and blend that into that glitter, okay? Now the white is going to give us a really good solid color in that back cuticle area, but then we're going to use what are we going to use? We're going to use our core white to give us a little bit more of an ombre, okay? So I'm gonna grab a little bit more of that white, really make sure that we've got a good solid colored background here, and then really making sure, kind of tapping, letting that color kind of bleed at the edge a little bit, just to start to blend that, okay? Okay, then, like I said, we're gonna use our core white. Bring that in. And then I'm going to bring this from the cuticle area through about here, okay? That's going to give us kind of that ombre look. So I'm going to pick up a little bit of a bigger pearl, about that size here. We're going to drop that down at our cuticle area. Again, this is going to kind of blend in with that white that's already there and give us that really, it's a good solid color, but still fairly soft. Okay, again, I'm going to take my brush and just feathering out that edge of that pearl, just gently feathering, kind of tapping through, just getting that to blend. I feel like my product it's working a little bit slower. It's kind of chilly in my room today, so I have a little bit more time to kind of play with this. So I'm just kind of doing a little bit of babysitting so that my product isn't moving where I don't want it to move, but then just kind of blending out that edge a little bit. And you guys, if you feel like maybe your space is a little bit cooler, maybe your products tend to set a little bit slower, you can always shift to your speed products, okay? Now, we don't have a light white, like a soft white like this in the speed, but for other applications, you can definitely switch to your speed products, okay? So kind of keep that in mind. Keep in mind how your room temperatures are normally, and keep that in mind when you're using product. Okay, we've got our blend going there. I think we're good. I'm just gonna brush that back just a little bit. I wanna bring my blend back just a little bit more. Just kind of soften it up a little bit more at that edge. And as I'm doing this, you guys, those of you, if you're new to our channel, we appreciate you being here. Make sure that you subscribe to our channel so that you can always join us going forward and that you don't miss any of the good stuff. Okay, you guys, I'm going to switch back over to my speed clear. I think that's what I grabbed here. Okay, that's our speed clear. So now again, just like we capped our blend on this first nail, we're going to cap our blend on our next nail here, because we want to make sure that we're sealing in those glitters. We're sealing those to that, that soft white. I'm going to drain out a little bit of that liquid. Again, I'm going to turn my brush around, blend that back up into that product that we've already got on that nail. I'll turn my brush around, come through pressing out that rest of that free edge and building in the rest of our structure, kind of filling in any low spots that we may have had, keeping those sidewalls tucked in. And then I'm going to turn my brush around and just kind of blend back up to that stress area. I feel like my free edge is getting a little bit on the thicker side. So to thin that out, I could either press at the free edge and pull that product forward, or if I need more product in the arch of my nail, which I could use a little bit more there, I can turn my brush around and blend backwards. That way it's going to pull that product back up into the arch, and it's going to thin and taper out my free edge as well. All right, I think this nail is good to go. What do you guys think? One more nail? Let me know. Let me know in the chat. Do you want to see one more nail, or do you want me to file these out and show you the finished look on these? Give me some, let's see, give me hearts in the chat if you want one more nail, and give me a thumbs up if we're good, if you want to see these filed out. Let me know. All right, let me close all of this stuff up while you guys are letting me know. Yes, do all of them. All right, well, I don't know that we can do all of them, but we'll give you one more. All right, two more. Oh my goodness, you guys crack me up. I love it. All right, so one more. Let me see. What are we going to do on our one more? All right, let's grab. So we'll stick with, guys, I got to cover things up here. Otherwise, I'm going to forget what's what. Okay, so let's grab our, what do we got? Unruly Blitz, another slick pour glitter color. I mean, who doesn't love glitter, right? So we got Unruly Blitz. And let's see, what else did we have? Cocktail Shaker. I love this one. You guys, Cocktail Shaker is so pretty. It's more of like shredded, what does Tracy call them? Slithers. That's what she calls them, slithers. So they're long rectangular pieces, but still kind of tiny, but beautiful colors on those. I absolutely love this one. And then because we've got that gold glitter, we've got our New Hollywood, which does have a little bit of kind of that gold hint to it, okay? So all of these beautiful colors, we're gonna play with those. Okay, so you guys, we did a traditional ombre, we did a glitter ombre. Let's do a cuticle ombre. Now, I don't know what the technical terms for these nails are. This is just what I call it because it makes sense to me. So, same thing, we've already prepped this nail. We're gonna grab our form, peel that back, and we're gonna stick that little tab on the back. Whoops, throw our stuff around. Pinch our two little silver tabs together nice and even, and open the top up there. Okay, we'll get that form up underneath that nail. Make sure it's coming nice and straight out. All right, there's something under, there we go. There's a little piece of that nail still under there. You guys, make sure when you're putting your forms on that you do get the nail cleaned up underneath, because if you do have maybe a little bit of that natural nail kind of hanging down if you filed it all, that's going to kind of interfere with how your form is fitting, and you don't want that to happen. So make sure you get at least a good clean free edge. Okay. Milky Satin, do you do your own nails? I actually just did these nails on camera last week. I think that was, yeah, that was last week. So you guys, again, if you haven't seen that, that live, we do have that posted for you. So definitely check that out. Okay, I'm gonna grab a couple more table wipes here. And you guys, these are just our regular table towels cut up into smaller pieces because it's easier for me to use and less waste for me. So, all right. Okay, so we are gonna do, what are we doing? We're doing the glitter bronzy, we're doing our cocktail shaker, and we're doing New Hollywood. All right, so we got our glitters, we got our form on, and again, you guys, before I start, I'm gonna make sure that my glitter is mixed into my acrylic and it hasn't separated or settled at all. And then let's go ahead. All right, I see a few of you in the chat are saying a short nail, please. All right, I'll mix it up. I'll do a short nail today. Let me check this one here real quick. Just want to make sure this one is right at that point where I can pinch that into a little bit tighter shape. Sea Urchin, where's that mannequin hand from? This is the Young Nails trainer hand. All of these products that I'm using today, you guys, you can get all of this from youngnails.com. And it's a great product. You're going to love it. Okay, so let's grab a little bit of, whoops, had a little too much liquid in my brush here. All right, I'll come in a little bit more. Okay, so a little bit of that gold glitter mix. We're going to start that at our cuticle area. Just like we did that first bead of white on this nail over here, we're going to just kind of press out that glitter, bring that down, blend that out a little bit. And again, just kind of tapping, pressing feathering your brush through that nail. Okay? Okay. Then we're going to grab a little bit of our glitters while our product is still wet. Just kind of touching my brush to the glitters, then touching it onto that nail. And it's going to stick right into that wet acrylic. Now again, if you feel like you need a little bit more, oops, a little bit more, oh my gosh, you guys, I can't figure out which powder is which over here. If you feel like you need a wetter surface, just pick up another small pearl of that clear, tap that down there, and that'll kind of re-wet the surface for you to add more glitter if you need to. Because again, I know you guys love glitter. You guys are crazy glitter people like I am, so you always want to add more. Okay, I think we've got our glitter on there. All right, and then I'm going to grab my Speed White. Now you guys were asking for a shorter nail. So let me grab our Speed White. I'm going to drain out that extra liquid. And then we're going to bring that right up to our free edge. So I picked up a little bit of a smaller pearl this time so that we don't need to create a very long free edge. We'll shorten it up just a little bit. Okay, again, pressing out that product side to side and then right up into those corners. Alrighty, get that up in there. Again, checking my shaping here. Now to shorten this up, I'm going to use the edge of my brush, press that up so it's a little bit shorter, clean up that shape a little bit more. Again, we'll do kind of a tapered square here, but a little bit shorter for those that like a little shorter nail. All right, again, I'm going to pick up a little bit more of that white right at that smile line area, kind of get that to start blending. I think some of you guys are asking in the chat, do I normally do a layer of clear? And yes, you can definitely do a layer of clear underneath your glitters if you are going to be filing your product off so that you have that little bit of a layer of clear underneath to help protect. Absolutely, that's always a great idea. Sometimes you guys, I get a little excited over glitter and I get carried away. So you're right, I should normally do a little, just a thin layer of clear underneath this. So if you are going to be soaking off your, or sorry guys, if you're going to be filing off your product, then you've got that little bit of layer of clear underneath. Okay, so good call. I'm glad that you guys pay attention to these things. I love that you guys learn and that you remember. So awesome, awesome. Okay, so we've got a kind of a start to our ombre. So just like this one, we started with the white and then we added the softer white. So we're going to do the same thing. But we're not going to bring that soft white all the way back to the cuticle. We're going to leave a little bit of a space there so that we can kind of have that glitter cuticle. All right, now I got to make sure this is my clear, this is my Speed White. Let me grab my core white. And again, I'm going to grab a clean towel to wipe my brush on. You guys, I always like to have a clean spot to wipe my brush on to make sure that I'm not picking up any extra glitters and things like that. Let's see, Chelsea, the glitters that I'm using, oh goodness, what did I say? New Hollywood and Cocktail Shaker are the glitters that I'm using. All right, and you guys, again, make sure that if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to our channel. Make sure that you're getting all of those good notifications so that you always know when we're going to go live. All right, so again, I'm using our core white. This is our softer white, so I'm going to pick up a smaller pearl here. I'm going to drop that down kind of right over that part that was blended out already. I'm going to blend out, or I'm going to just tap out so I have a little bit more of a rounded shape here. And then we're going to blend this forward. And then we're just going to, I'm going to turn my brush around. I'm just going to kind of tap that edge just to kind of soften that edge. And again, if you need to turn your brush around to get more of that, that blend, you can definitely do that. And then just, again, kind of feathering through here. All right, you guys, I've got two little tiny pieces of glitter. I don't know if you can see that on camera or not, but I know they're going to drive me crazy if I don't get those out of there. So I'm just going to draw my brush through there. Get those two little glitters out of there. This is why I always like to have a clean spot to wipe my brush on. There we go. So I make sure that I'm not picking up glitters into a design where I don't want glitter. I know it's weird, the design that you don't want glitter. I know it's weird, but there are certain times where you don't want those glitters in there. All right, now we're going to come back in with our speed clear, and we're going to drop that right at the cuticle area, and we're going to cap that whole blend and build the structure to our nail. Now, somebody was asking in the chat, I'm sorry I didn't catch your name, why are we covering up all of the glitter? We're just doing a different technique, just doing a cuticle glitter ombre. Like I said, you guys, I don't know what the technical term for it is, but it's just a different look, a different technique. I've actually been seeing a lot of this these days. It's kind of a trendy, fun kind of a look. So just seeing that glitter right at that cuticle area, okay? All right, I think, whoops, I just smooshed that with my nail, didn't I? Gotta love long nails. All right, I'm just gonna fix that up, touch up that little smudge. Because you know, you guys, your clients are gonna smudge their nails too. It's okay, it happens, life happens. We just work with it, we move on. Okay, so I've got all three of my nails done here. Let me cap everything up here, put all my glitters away, all my colors away, so that way I can go into my filing, okay? And again, you guys, good time to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, make sure that you are on all of our proper lists so you know when we're going live. You're not gonna miss anything out. Let's see here, all right. You guys, I'm telling you, I gotta check. Oops, look at that. I got one little piece of glitter into my product. Make sure that I get that out of there before I cap that. And that is my speed white. And you guys, when you're working with all of these different, white looking powders, make sure that you do check, what that color is. I know that's my clear. Make sure you check before you put those caps back on, because there's nothing like, reaching into your drawer, grabbing a color and picking out the wrong color and then putting that onto the nail. So make sure you cap all of your things with the proper cap. All right, got those. I'm gonna set my brush off to the side, toss all of those away, and then let's go ahead and get our dust extractor situated here. Okay, we can take our forms off. Just gonna pinch those together underneath. I think our second nail should be set all the way through, but I'm going to leave that form on our third nail. This one's not quite set yet. It's still a little on the pliable side, so we're going to leave that on there while we do our filing. And I'm going to jump into my X-cut bit here, and I'm going to turn my speed up to about 15,000 RPMs. When I'm working with acrylic, I do tend to work a little bit at a higher speed. Normally with gel, I tend to work, about 13, 14 RPMs. Acrylic's a little bit of a harder product, so I'm going to work just a little bit higher speed. And make sure you guys are able to see here. All right, so I'm just taking in my sidewalls a little bit, straightening out that free edge. And remember earlier when I said, you guys, that you don't have to worry about making your free edge perfect when you're sculpting? This is why, because if you're using the E-file, you can really just perfect all of those edges a lot quicker and easier than trying to sculpt it perfectly. I'm just going to come underneath that lower arch, get any little bits that are hanging down. And you guys, I'm definitely going to come back with my hand file to really perfect all my shaping and everything. So don't worry if you have, little bits still hanging down there, that's okay. Chelsea, I am using the X-cut carbide, and we're working today at about 15,000 RPMs. And I don't have a ton of filing through my arch here, but just a little bit, kind of thin and taper out that free edge, work up into that arch area, back down through there, and then we'll take a look at this nail straight down the barrel. And come back through. And I'm just pulling that bit towards myself. Now you guys, this is a very safe bit. I know there's a lot of people that you know, maybe have used the electric file, maybe have gotten cut with the electric file. But if you're working properly at the proper speeds, you're anchoring your fingers, you're keeping yourself connected to your client, you're making sure that you're working at the proper angles. Whoops, make sure you guys can see. You're going to be able to safely file your client's nails. Okay? All right, so we've got that one filed out. We'll jump into our second one. And you guys will notice that I basically go through the same techniques on every nail. This is how you're going to be able to get nails identical. Well, all right, maybe not identical, but they're going to look related at least. Okay? So by going through all of the same techniques, even in the same order, that's going to help you to get your nails looking consistent. Okay? So you guys always notice I start on my sidewalls, my free edge, my lower arches, then I'll come up around that cuticle area, thin and taper my cuticle area, follow through the rest of that arch, taking down any bulk, and making sure that I'm only filing where I need to file. I'm going to turn our hand, look straight down the barrel, take down any little bulk from the sides. Again, just pulling forward. I'm using that whole bit all the way through that whole length of that nail. Just pulling forward, pulling forward. All right, I think we are about good there. And I usually do kind of come back through, you know, from that arch view one last time, make sure everything is nice and even where I need it. And I'm going to take in that free edge just a little bit there. Okay, thin it out just a little bit. All right, let's check this one. This one's still a little bit soft, so I'm going to wait on that to finish filing. It is right at that point of being able to press in that C-curve. So that's where I'm going to just give it a little bit of a press on those sides, just kind of narrow it in a little bit more. And on these other two nails, let me grab my, sorry guys, not the safety bit, my sanding band. I'm going to use my sanding band. And this one I'm going to turn down to about, I'm going to go about 7,000 RPMs. And I like to use the sanding band to work up around that cuticle area, really get that nice and thin and tapered. And then I can just kind of flow through and really taper everything in, really contour everything so that I have less work to do with my actual hand file. Okay? I feel like that the sanding band just gives us a little more tapering, a little more customizing, and especially around that cuticle area. You guys, if you're newbies, if you're a beginner to using the X-cut bit and you don't feel like you can get all the way to that cuticle area safely, you can switch over and use the sanding band, and that'll help you out too. Okay, so just like I was doing before, following through that contour all the way through. Same thing, we'll turn from straight down the barrel. Catch any high spots, any low spots. All right, let's check this one. Okay, so that one, I can hear it kind of, if you tap on it, you can hear that click. That'll tell you that it is set. I'm gonna go back to my X-cut and we'll shape this one again. Okay, so again, my X-cut, I'm gonna be working about 14 to 15,000 RPMs. Back that up a little bit. Take in my sides, take in my free edge, same thing on the other side. Check that lower arch. Now with your shorter nails, you may not be able to get quite so close up in there. That's okay. Just take down any little bit of bulk if you can. Coming straight out from that lower arch, from that sidewall, and then we'll come right up around that cuticle again. Okay, again, just thinning and tapering. Now I'm going to be very careful because I don't want to file off that clear that's on top of there. So I just want to make sure I'm not doing too much filing in that cuticle area. Okay, so same process all the way through, right down the arch of the nail. I'm not coming all the way from side to side. I'm just working from the top over, making sure that my bit doesn't wrap around that finger. And again, pulling forward, tapering in, taking down any of that bulk. And making sure everything is nice and even. All right, so we're good there. You guys make sure to hit that like button in between, in our little breaks. Make sure you hit those like buttons. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Get all the good things in there. All right, let's see. Did we do this one? I can't remember if we did this one with our sanding band. I believe we did. I think we're good there. Okay, come back to our last nail here. Tapering all the way around that cuticle area. Turn that on the side, and again, do a little bit more contouring, really refining. So again, you guys, anything that I can do with my electric file, I would rather do with the electric file. Rather than trying to do everything by hand with my hand file, it's much easier for me to use my electric file than it is to file by hand. So anything I can do with the e-file, I'm gonna do. All right, let's come and take our sidewalls in. You wanna make sure that you're keeping that file nice and straight. Let me readjust here. Give you guys a little bit of a better view. Okay, so straight in on those sides. Make sure that all you see right now is that blue line of your file so that you know that you're getting a nice straight edge on that side. Okay, let's straighten out our free edge. I'm gonna turn on the side, catch our lower arch here. Move back a little bit. And make sure that that sidewall is coming straight out from that finger. Okay, you guys, you want to make sure you're not angling your file in here or through here, but it's straight with that finger. Okay, straight in there. Again, making sure that we're coming right out from those lower arches, those sidewalls, straight out. Okay, same thing on the other side. And yes, on a real client, I do turn their hand on the side like this. Okay, I know people think, oh my gosh, that's weird. Is it uncomfortable? It's actually not. Okay, so make sure that you're seeing your client's nails from the correct angles. And even if it is slightly uncomfortable for them, they're mobile. Okay, you guys are sitting here for, I don't know, 8, 10 hours a day. I don't know, some of you crazy people are working 12 hours a day. I don't know. But you guys, you are sitting here, you are the professional. You need to make sure that you're moving your client in ways where you don't have to readjust your body into awkward positions, okay? So if you're sitting in an awkward position for 8 hours a day, you're gonna start hurting and your nail career is not gonna be as long as you may like it to be, okay? Make sure that you always keep your ergonomics in mind, and clients are mobile, all right? Keep that in mind. I want you guys to all have a wonderful long career. And if you're a nail enthusiast, same thing for you. Make sure that you're sitting yourself in proper postures. You know, if you're working on your own nails, make sure that you're not slouching on your table or, you know, sitting in the living room or the dining room at a weird position at your table. I know we've all done it, but keep your ergonomics in mind. You want to make sure that you're not wearing out your body and doing things that don't need to be done, okay? Keep yourself safe. All right, same thing, our lower arches. Lower arches. I'm going to balance with my fingers on the top of that nail so I'm not putting extra pressure on the top. Come back around, making sure everything is nice and tapered. So we've got 2 nice long nails here. All right, for some of you it might be a medium length. I know I get people saying that's not a long nail. Well, compares to this one, it's a long nail. So now we got our little shorter, more active length nail, but we're still gonna be doing the same filing, okay? Same thing, file your edges straight, file that free edge straight, turn on the side, catch your lower arch, and yep, we're all good there. Turn on the other side, catch that other lower arch. Make sure it's nice and straight out from that natural nail. And we'll come around that cuticle area, down our sides, tapering in, getting everything nice and rounded around the edges. Tapering, 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 taking that a little more tapered. All right. And then again, looking from kind of that side view, tapering that free edge a little bit more. And then I'm going to turn this client's hand around. Let me adjust you guys here. And I'm going to take a look at all of these nails. Now, if I were doing a full set, obviously I probably wouldn't have one little short nail. But on my full sets, I want to compare all of the nails together. So these 3 middle fingers, those I want to make sure are about the same length. So I think we're good there. So now at this point, I'm going to check my shaping. Come on, Sally. Okay, I want to make sure that my sidewalls are nice and straight. Everything is nice and even. My free edge is nice and straight. And then I'm going to look backwards down this nail. There we go. I'm going to look backwards down the nail and see if I can see any high spots, low spots, lumps or bumps, and make sure to file everything smooth from this direction. And I kind of work with my file, so I start my file on one side and then kind of bring it up and over so it's contouring that whole curve, that whole C curve of the nail. Get everything nice and smooth and tapered. All right, I think we look good from this view. One last check my free edge. I'm going to go to our next nail, same thing, make sure my sidewalls are straight. Oops, sorry guys. Straighten out that free edge. And again, looking backwards down the barrel of that nail. Making sure I don't pop their finger out. All right, and again, contouring all the way through that whole curve of the nail. Okay, now do these look related? They look related. Maybe not, well, they're sisters, they're not twins. They are related. Okay, take a look at our third nail here. Same thing, let's check our sidewalls. Make sure everything is nice and straight. Check that free edge, nice and straight. Oops, sorry guys. And again, looking backwards down the barrel of that nail. And you may have to kind of rock that nail up and down a little bit to really see all of the whole length of the nail. Especially on those longer nails as you're working, make sure that you are seeing all the way from cuticle all the way to that free edge so that you see any high spots or low spots or anything that's uneven. Make sure to get that all tapered in. Okay, one last check. I think we are good to go from here. So let's turn our dust extractor off. I'm going to dust her off. I probably should have waited to turn the dust extractor off till I dust her off. Get all of that dust cleaned off of there, and I'm going to bring back my table towels. So again, I have a nice clean area to work on. And get rid of that top one that's got all of that glitter and all that other dust on there. All right, so now again, we've got a nice clean surface to work on. So we're gonna finish up these nails. I'm gonna use a little bit of swipe. We're gonna dust off our nails here. And then I'm gonna show you guys one more trick. Now, for those of you that may be beginners, you may be struggling doing your ombres, you may have filed out, maybe I had a little corner here that maybe I filed off a little bit of that white. I'm going to show you a trick. It's my secret, so don't tell anybody. All right, tell everybody because it's a great trick. So I'm going to first start with protein bond. We're going to do one more coat of our protein bond. Do you guys want to see my secret? I know that sounds weird, but my secret technique, we'll go with that. Let me know in the chat. Give me a wave if you want to see the secret technique that I use. Give me a wave in the chat. Let me know you want to see it. All right, so again, you guys, just doing one more coat of protein bond before we do our next step. Anybody? Yes, Crystal Glitterbug, I'm giving away public secrets. All right, you guys, so here is my secret. If you didn't tell me in the chat, I'm going to even show you anyways. Sheer White 101. This is my secret when I'm doing any kind of ombre with these white colors. You can kind of see on this one, there's maybe just a little area right through here. Let me come in a little bit more for you guys. Right through here, I can still see a little bit of a line from that glitter. So this is where my Sheer White 101 is going to come in. I'm also going to grab my ombre brush, and you guys, we've got a great brush kit. It's got an ombre brush in it, So check that out on the website if you don't have one. But this one, it's kind of like a little slices into the brush. So it's kind of thinner right at the tip of the brush there. So when we've got that little bit of an unevenness, I'm going to grab my Sheer White 101 and I'm going to use this, and we're going to brush on a coat of this just about up to there. And then I'm going to use my ombre brush to feather out the edge of that. And that's going to really help to get that, that little bit of an unevenness to blend. Or even if you had a little space on the side of the nail, can touch a little bit of that product right on that edge, and that sheer white is just going to kind of fill in. It's going to soften everything a little bit so that you can see it's going to blend a little bit better. I'm going to pop this into the light for just a quick, just maybe even, I don't know, for now, just a quick 10-second freeze, okay? So this way it's going to set that coat of gel polish into place, and then I'm going to check. I can do a second coat if I need a second coat. So I'm going to take a look. I think on this one, I do want a second coat. I think on this one, I'm even going to add one more coat as well. Well, I'm going to add a coat. So on this one, again, I'll do a second coat. Again, kind of blending down. This one, let me bring you guys in here. On this one, I'm going to do that free edge working up to the edge. And again, blending that just up in there. Okay, so again, just these little techniques is really going to help you to kind of perfect that blend, because you guys, ombres can be tricky. It can be tricky to blend out perfectly. So using that sheer white, excuse me guys, using that sheer white is going to really help you guys to get that really pretty ombre. Time for coffee break, you guys. All right, so we're going to cure that for a quick 30 seconds, and then we're going to top coat. So the top coat I'm going to use today is our stain resistant, and I like to use the stain resistant anytime I'm working with pink and whites, anytime I'm working with these white ombres, things like that, because sometimes if your clients, maybe if it's a hairdresser, maybe if it's, you know, somebody that works with chemicals, somebody that works with, you know, hair dyes, let's see, what else? If they work in clothing, retail, a lot of times newer clothing, well, brand new clothing, has extra dye in it that hasn't been washed out. So a lot of times, you know, white nails like this can absorb some of that color. So if you're using the stain resistant, you're going to keep all of that discoloration off the nail, and it's not going to stain. So especially when you're doing ombres and you're doing anything white or light colors on an enhancement, I love using the stain resistant. All right, you guys, look at that glitter sparkling in there. Ooh, love it, I love it. So we're going to go ahead and cure these for a full 60 seconds, and then we will show you the final look on these. You're going to love them. I think you're going to love all of these different glitter options. Oops, let me cap that edge. I saw a little spot on this one that I missed. Make sure that I touch that up before we cure. Alrighty, I think we're good to go there. So let me just pop those in the light really quick. We'll get a quick cure on there. Let's see here, you guys. Let me pop around here just really quick. I just want to take a minute, and I know I do this all the time, but I really sincerely, I just want to say thank you guys for spending all of this time with us. Make sure that you do hit that like and subscribe button so that you can join us next time and get all of the great information, all of this education. We are here for you guys. If you need any of the products that we use today, youngnails.com. Can get all of that on there. If you need any assistance, customer service, anything like that, please contact our customer service team. They are so helpful and so willing to support you guys. So definitely contact us if you need anything. We are always here to help. And thank you again. Let me flip back around and I will show you guys the final look here. We just have a couple of seconds left. So because I was using the stain resistant top coat, it does have a tacky finish when it comes out of the light. I'm going to use a little bit of swipe on our lint-free wipe, and we're going to swipe that, get that tacky surface cleaned off. And then I'll show you guys the final look because I know you guys are dying to see this glitter. It is absolutely gorgeous. So a couple of different options for doing your ombres. Your traditional pink and white ombre. Let me bring that back up there for you. Traditional pink and white ombre, glitter free edge ombre, and then cuticle area ombre. And maybe this little bit better view from this direction. Okay, so again, you guys, thank you so much for joining us today. Make sure to check in with us tomorrow. We should be back doing another fun demo, and we will see you guys next time. Have a great week, everybody.